Imagine you are cruising down the highway, asking your car for a bit more power to pass someone, and suddenly, instead of surging forward, the engine hesitates, stumbles, or feels completely unresponsive. It is a scary feeling, right? This is exactly what can happen when your car throws a P061B code. It sounds like a mouthful: internal control module torque calculation performance, but let us break it down into plain English. Basically, your car has a main computer, often called the PICM or powertrain control module, which acts as the brain. This brain is constantly doing math to figure out exactly how much torque, or turning force, the engine should be making based on how hard you are pressing the gas pedal. It compares what you want, which it reads from the pedal position sensor, against what the engine is actually delivering, which it calculates using data from the mass airflow sensor, or MAEF. When everything is working fine, these numbers match up perfectly. But if the brain notices a discrepancy of more than 50 Newton meters for just over 1 second, while the engine is spinning above 5,000 RPM, it panics. It thinks, hold on, the math does not add up here. Something is wrong with the internal monitoring system. That is when it triggers the code and turns on the check engine light. Now, you might be wondering how serious this is. Honestly, do not ignore this one. Since it deals with the internal processing of the computer and how it controls engine power, it is considered a severe issue. You could face serious drivability problems, terrible fuel economy, or the car could go into limp mode without warning to protect itself. Finding the root cause can be tricky because while the code says internal control module, it is often triggered by the sensors feeding information to the module. Before you go spending hundreds or thousands on a new computer, you need to play detective. The most common culprits are actually external. Start by checking your air filter. Believe it or not, a clogged air filter or debris on the hot wire of your MAEF sensor can mess up the torque calculations enough to trigger this code. Grab a can of MAEF cleaner and give that sensor a gentle cleaning. Also, check the wiring going to your throttle body and your gas pedal sensor. Corrosion or a loose wire here causes bad data, and bad data leads to bad calculations. If you have access to a diagnostic scanner, look at the freeze frame data to see exactly what was happening when the code set. If you verify all of the wiring, grounds, and sensors are perfect, only then should you suspect the computer itself. And here's a pro tip: if you do end up needing a new module, remember that on modern cars you cannot just plug in a new one. It usually requires reprogramming to match your specific vehicle, which might mean a trip to the dealer or a shop with advanced flashing tools. Keep your grounds clean and your sensors cleaner, and you might just save yourself a massive repair bill.